Negative and zero exponents, lesson 4.4 notes, example number 2, continued. For D through I, I'm going to tell you now, for all 6 of them except for 1, it's going to be 3 lines of work, so you're going to need to write extremely small. I write fairly small naturally, and I had trouble fitting this in, so you're going to need to write really small and really, really neat to get this all in. So please take your time, pause the video as much as you need to make sure that you're writing neat and small. All right, so let's start with D. For these problems, we're going to follow our order of operations. So we're following PEMDAS. I have a division bar, and division bar, remember, is like a grouping symbol because you cannot divide until both the numerator and the denominator are simplified completely. Well, in this case, the denominator needs simplified. I've got parentheses side by side, which means multiplication, but I also have a set of parentheses with this exponent on the outside, which means I've got a power of a product, which is like having an exponent. So exponents or multiplication, which would be first, the power of a product would be first. So I'm going to start with this. Okay, over here, write power of a product. When you have power of product, remember the first thing we do is we take our coefficient and raise to the exponent. Once again, because it's a positive 1, I really don't need to worry about it. Back when we did powers and products lesson 4.2, we put in the notes that if it's a positive 1, you can ignore it. I'm going to put it there just so when we go to multiply later, you notice that there's a 1, but we really don't need to write it off the side because 1 to the 5th power, 1 to any power is still going to be 1. All right, so we're going to do the power product first. There's nothing to do in the numerator, so I'm just going to bring it down. 96, f to the 28th, g to the 2nd, h to the 7th, and p to the 4th. On the bottom, I'm not doing anything with the 8p to the 3rd in the first step, so I'm just going to bring it down. And now I'm going to do the power of product. Well, 1 to the 5th power is going to stay 1. And now I need to multiply my exponents. All right, so 5 times 5 would give me g to the 5th. 5 times 1 would give me h to the 5th. Sorry, let me go back. That's g to the 25th. So 5 times 5 gave me g to the 25th. 5 times 1 would give me h to the 5th. And 5 times 2 would give me f to the 10th. All right, I'm just going to center this a little bit more. We'll lower these so they're not in the... Okay, so now, can I divide? No, I can't divide until the denominator is completely simplified, which means I need to multiply now. So once again, my numerator is going to stay the same. I'm still going to have 96, f to the 28th, g to the 2nd, h to the 7th, and p to the 4th. On the bottom, first thing I do is multiply 8 times 1. 8 times 1 is 8. And now I've got a p, a g, an h, and an f. None of them repeat, so I just need to bring them down. And when I bring them down, I'm going to bring them down in alphabetical order. So f would be first. I'm going to bring down f to the 10th. And by the way, when you're doing this, because there might be a larger exponent in the denominator, you might want to put some space in here in case when we go to cross out the exponents, you have room to rewrite it. So I'm going to leave a little space. I've got f to the 10th. Next would be g to the 25th. h to the 5th, and p to the 3rd. Now I am ready to divide. I've simplified the numerator, I've simplified the denominator. We are now ready to divide. Okay, starting with 96 and 8. Get out my calculator. 96 over 8 would give me 12. Since 12 is an integer, it goes in the numerator. F to the 10th has the smaller exponent. 28 minus 10 is 18. G to the 2nd has the smaller exponent. 25 minus 2 is 23. See, there's where you want to have enough space to rewrite it. H to the 5th has the smaller exponent. 7 minus 5 is 2. P to the 3rd has the smaller exponent. 4 minus 3 is 1. When you divide, you always rewrite. So whatever's in the numerator will stay in the denominator. Whatever's in the numerator will stay in the numerator. Whatever's in the denominator will stay in the denominator. In the numerator, I have 12, f to the 18th, h to the 2nd, and p to the 1st, which I'm just going to put p. And the only thing left on the bottom is g to the 23rd. And that is it for example D. All right, example E is the same thing as example D, it's just flip-flopped. We're going to do the same, follow the same steps, except these are now going to be in the numerator. So I'm going to start with my power of a product. The hardest part about these problems is recognizing what you need to do. So I need to start with power of a product in the numerator. Again, I'm going to have 1 to the 5th power, and I don't really need to worry about that. So I'm still going to have 92 m to the 3rd q to the 4th times, well, 1 to the 5th power is 1, and now I multiply my exponents. 1 times 5 is n to the 5th. And again, 1 times 5 would give me p to the 5th. Okay. I didn't need to do anything in the denominator, so I'm just going to bring it down. I still need to simplify the numerator by multiplying. (92) times 1 would be 92. I've got m, an n, a q, a p. None of them repeat, so I just need to bring them down. Or there's not more of one in the numerator, so I just need to bring them down in alphabetical order. So that would be m to the 3rd, n to the 5th, p to the 5th, and q to the 4th. Rewrite the bottom. -4, m to the 1st, n to the 21st, p to the 14th, and q to the 1st. I did it again. I wrote it too close. I'm going to move it down a little bit in case I need to rewrite my exponents. All right, now I am ready to divide. (92 over -4 is -23. So that goes in the denominator, or in the numerator, sorry. M to the first is the smaller exponent. It gets completely crossed out. 3 minus 1 is 2. N to the fifth has the smaller exponent. 21 minus 5 is 16. P to the fifth has the smaller exponent. 14 minus 5 is 9. Q to the first has the smaller exponent, and 4 minus 1 is 3. After you divide, you always rewrite. So I have the negative out front, -23, M to the second, Q to the third, over N to the 16th, P to the 9th. And that is it for E. If you have any questions on D and E, please let me know.